everyone, Johnny who don't speak news. News we're not supposed to speak about. And I may have some of that pulled up right now as we're on Hal Turner radio show, and it says something big seems to be brewing. Russia-Ukraine situation. So let's just get into it like we always do. Spokeswoman Maria Zakharova of the Russian Foreign Ministry, that's her right there, said something very blunt, unusual, and very worrisome this morning. She said Moscow will regard the permission for Kiev to strike deep into the Russian Federation as the entry of NATO countries into a direct armed conflict. She went on to say the response will be imminent and devastating to the West. So why would the Russian Foreign Ministry even say that today? Most folks are under the impression that the use of Ukraine, or by Ukraine, of Western-supplied long-range missiles to strike deep into Russia was already decided and taken off the table. Allegedly, the U.S. said, no, we're not going to allow that. Well, Russian President Putin long ago made it clear that Western long-range missiles need to be actively guided to target by satellites, which Ukraine doesn't have any. So in order for such missiles to be launched by Ukraine, those missiles must be actively guided to target by the U.S. and EU and NATO satellites. As such, the active guidance of those missiles by Western satellites makes the West an active combatant against Russia, for which Russia would strike back. Since then, the whole idea of Ukraine using Western-supplied long-range missiles deep into Russia seems to have been off the table until now. So, what does Russia know? Why aren't they saying it just yet? Or what are they not telling us? Has the policy of refusing Ukraine permission changed? Has permission been given to Ukraine to use these missiles? So, like Hal is doing, I'm working to get more details as well. If I get them, I'll put them on the website. I might do another video, who knows? But this is a big deal. For her to just come out and say this, well, she wouldn't be saying it for no reason. So, yeah, prayed up and prepped up, guys. Time may be very short. Now, I've been looking for more information on the statement that she made. And what I've been finding are things like this that are a little bit older. Polyansky warned about the threat of the U.S. entering into direct conflict with Russia. This was Dimitri Polyansky. He is a first deputy permanent representative of the Russian Federation to the UN. And he said at the open debate of the Security Council in September, on the topic Leadership for Peace, his words are quoted by the press service of the permanent mission. He said, never since the Cuban Missile Crisis of 1962 has our planet been so close to global conflict as it is today. The United States and its NATO and EU allies are getting deeper into the war with Russia in order to keep afloat their anti-Russian project in Ukraine. Now, they're not going to let it fail. But failing it is, nonetheless, as we see here over on Sputnik. Kiev admits Ukrainian defense is crumbling as Russia makes fastest Donbass advances since 2022. So maybe this is why they've now been given permission to use these long-range weapons, and maybe that's why Maria is talking about it the way she is. The Russian Foreign Ministry is talking about it. She's just the talking head for it. But anyway, Kiev is losing, and they're losing royally on the front lines, as Russia is now making their fastest Donbass advances since 2022. Ukrainian officials admit that Russian forces are advancing in the Donbass faster than ever since 2022, and that Ukrainian defenses are crumbling amid manpower shortages, according to the Financial Times newspaper. Ukrainian military officials, soldiers, and analysts also believe that the next few months will be critical in the Ukraine conflict, the newspaper said. Ukraine will reportedly try to stabilize its defenses and strengthen its position to secure more favorable conditions and possible negotiations with Moscow that Kiev may be forced to hold by U.S. President-elect Donald Trump. So yeah, that may be another reason, guys, that maybe Trump has said that we need to end this war, and he's got serious intentions of doing so and getting diplomacy working in Ukraine again. And maybe that's why they've now given permission. It's hard to say. There's a lot of different reasons why this could be happening. But nonetheless, more Ukrainian medical personnel will also be sent to the Eastern Front ahead of heavy fighting expected in the coming days and weeks. Indeed. Sky News also reporting the same thing. Ukraine war latest, Russia ready to carry out massive attack. Ukraine warned as Kiev defenses crumble. Moscow's missile and drone attack on Kiev today could be the start of bigger attacks to come, a Ukrainian official has warned. And from the front line in eastern Ukraine, international correspondent Stuart Ramsey said Kiev's forces are in trouble. And you can watch that report down here. So I'll put the links up like I always do. But they're admitting it now, even the mainstream in the West and Sky News. They're having to admit that Ukraine is getting their butts kicked and this massive attack is just the beginning. So, and Russia's moving faster than ever before, as I just showed you. That may be why they're now getting permission to use these long-range weapons inside of Russia. But we'll see. But she wouldn't be coming out and making statements like this, guys, if it weren't very, very serious. Also something very serious. Turkey has cut ties officially, diplomatic ties with Israel in a major diplomatic shift. So this is something that they've talked about, and Erdogan is famous for talking much smack, but never doing anything. And someone on Twitter asked the question, well, then how is Israel going to get their oil if Turkey's cutting off all ties with them? Well, that's a good question. That doesn't mean that the oil still won't be smuggled. Not only that, but don't forget about the United States stealing all that oil in Syria and shipping it to Israel that way, right through the Golan. I'm just saying. They can truck it right through Syria and then back down into Israel. Anyway, Turkey cuts ties with Israel, a major diplomatic shift. President Erdogan in Turkey announced this morning that they have officially severed relations with Israel, condemning what he described as genocide in Gaza and Lebanon. Well, it's about time. Speaking after visits to Saudi Arabia and Azerbaijan, Erdogan emphasized the need for urgent humanitarian aid and immediate ceasefire, which will never happen, at least not while Netanyahu's there. This break in diplomatic relations marks a dramatic escalation in Turkey's stance, as Erdogan advocates strongly for the Palestinian cause and aims to strengthen ties with other regional powers critical of Israel. Turkey's move is expected to reshape alliances and impact Middle Eastern geopolitics significantly. Gee, do you think? Of course it would. And he's often called on the international Muslim community to unite against Israel, but he's never taken any concrete steps until now. It's also over here on Twitter. Erdogan announced that Turkey has officially severed relations with Israel, condemning what he described as genocide in Gaza and Lebanon. Speaking after visits to Saudi Arabia and Azerbaijan, he emphasized the need for humanitarian aid, and basically it's the same press release that Hal just released. So, and the source was Newsweek. Unreal. So, a lot of things developing very quickly, guys. Another story here on pronews.gr. So, and of course, Sky News confirming that Russia is kicking butt in Ukraine and moving faster than ever. So, that may be why the West now is allegedly giving permission for Kiev to strike deep into the Russian Federation. At least that's what Maria Zakharova of the Russian Foreign Ministry is saying. In a very blunt statement indeed. So worrisome indeed as well. But remember, we don't have a spirit of fear, but God gives us a spirit of power and of love and of a sound mind. So no fear here, guys. Just keep praying and keep prepping and stay ready. And that's all I've got for now. Don't forget, don'tspeaknews.com is home base for everything that we do. I just put up another interesting story here this morning about Elon Musk. Is it possible that he's the false prophet the Bible talks about? We get into that in this particular story and with these videos that I've posted here. So we've got all that and much more, including some health benefits I shared about DMSO yesterday and how I'm using it. So all kinds of stuff here, guys, for you to explore. Over 2,000 stories now with pictures and videos and everything. So if you'd like to contact us, all you have to do is hit the subscribe, contact Johnny tab here. And the two emails are right here at Proton Mail and at Yahoo. If you'd like to subscribe to the channel, it's at the bottom of every posting. It'll also pop up as you're reading an article, just once though. And you can type in your email here, click on subscribe, and then you'll get notified every time I put up a new video, post, or what have you. Also, if you'd like to support us, we are listener supported only. Click on channel support. And all the ways to support us are right here. All the links, I should say. And if you'd like to send us something through the mail, just contact me through one of the email addresses, and I'll let you know how to do that. And if you want to find us on Rumble and BitChute and Telegram, just click on this tab here, and all the locations where you can find us are right here. Now, I do have the YouTube channel back, but I highly doubt I'm going to be doing a whole lot with it, guys, except for videos like this where we, talk about wars, rumors of wars, and not much else. So YouTube isn't allowing much else these days. So, but if you're watching it on YouTube, you're watching it on YouTube. And that's just how that goes. I'm not going to link to it anymore because I don't know how much longer we'll be on there. We're on here if you're watching it on YouTube now. But, it's hard to know what word is going to trigger the algorithm today, tomorrow, the next day. You just don't know. They keep changing the rules of the game all the time, and they're not telling us what they are. But that is it for now. God bless, take care. Johnny Storm, Don't Speak News.